there from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. This is our first of 2 July vlogs here on Pleasure Beach Experience at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. We're going to get a little bit vlog heavy on the channel in the next couple of weeks because me and Becca have got a couple of park trips that have got coming up as well. And here we are at Blackpool Pleasure Beach with our little boy Charlie in the background there. 3 years old now, can do quite a lot of the rides at Blackpool Pleasure Beach in Nickland. Of course, loves the Pleasure Beach Express though. Also likes Alice in Wonderland and Wallish and Gromit. But because I can't do the rides at the minute and Charlie's been nagging us to come back to Blackpool Pleasure Beach, we thought, you know what, we've never done a video with the 3 of us, have we, Becca?
Oh, no.
We've done one at Towers, but we've never done one here, so we just thought we'd do a bit of a, if you're a parent at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, what can you do with your toddler? So we thought we'd do that kind of video today, so that's the kind of narrative we're going to go with. But also while we're here, we'll have a look at some of the other things that have changed around the park. We'll go and look at the wall of names because that's got some new bricks on it and stuff like that. So looking forward to your day, Becca.
I am. It's always good fun when Charlie leads us.
Yeah, definitely, because you never know what new ride he's going to take us to.
No, he's got a habit of just walking onto a ride and being like, we're doing this now.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
The Krusty Krab, he was not interested, and then he just led me on and all of a sudden we're sat on it.
Splash Bash as well the other week.
Yeah.
So you never quite know where he's going to take us, and he has been on Blue Flyer, but he's a little bit unsure on it, isn't he?
Yeah, some days he's re-riding it, other days he's not interested.
Yeah, I can't get my angles right here. So yeah, we're not entirely sure where this vlog's going to go, how long it's going to be, or what rides we'll actually cover, but we'll give it our best shot, and we'll give a bit of a parent's guide to visiting Blackpool Pleasure Beach with a toddler. So here we go. So Becca and Charlie are on the Ferry taxis ride. There is a height restriction for this one, which is 120 centimetres, but if you are accompanied by a parent or an adult, you are allowed to go on it without a height restriction, which is why Charlie's able to go on this with Becca, which is great because he absolutely loves this ride.
So the rides without a real height restriction, basically you can take them on if they're with an adult. You do have to make sure that they can walk unaided and they do have shoes on.
Yeah.
So you can't just lift them onto it, you have to show that they can walk. There are a couple of things that you can take smaller babies on, you know, that can't walk, but that is fairly limited, so just check beforehand. It does say on the signs that they can't be in your arms.
Yeah, exactly. There's notices at all the rides with the height markers and stuff like that, isn't there? Excellent.
There we go, you can steer it.
So the next ride that Becca and Charlie are doing is the Wonder Pets Big Circus Bounce, which again has got no height limit if you are accompanied by a parent. However, I think because Charlie's getting bigger now, he does have to sit on his own row. And then if it was me on it, I'd be sat in the same place as Becca. So I'm really pleased to update that the Avalanche Bears are back. They're playing their tunes. They've come out of lockdown and they're looking as good as ever. So the Grand Prix here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach is another ride that you can take your toddlers on, and if they are a certain height, they will also be able to drive it themselves, because I believe there's a foot pedal which is suitable for toddlers to use. Usually when me or Becca take Charlie on this, he asks us to drive for him because he's not confident enough to drive it himself yet, and to be honest, considering he's only 3, I prefer to drive it as well because they can be quite difficult to steer. But this is a really fun ride to take your small children on because there's so many of the views that they can take in around Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and speaking from experience of taking our little boy on it, he absolutely loves this, and it is always something we have to do 2 or 3 times on a visit. And it's worth noting at the minute that this doesn't open until 12 o'clock on weekdays. I don't know if it's the same at the weekends. I can't remember, to be honest. We usually come here with Charlie on a weekday. River Caves here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach is another one of those rides that you can take your toddler child on. The height restriction is 132 centimetres for unaccompanied children, or unaccompanied people, let's say. However, if your child, toddler, youngster can walk unaided, they are able to go on the river caves as long as they're with a parent or a responsible adult. So we've been able to take our little boy Charlie on this since he was 1 year old, which has been great because he absolutely loves this ride. Enjoy that?
I did.
Good stuff.
The best thing ever is getting a boat with seat backs in it.
You got seat backs?
Seat backs.
No way.
What a difference that makes.
Yeah, I bet.
Really, really big difference.
I didn't even know they got them.
I've noticed not all the boats have them. Like that one that's just came back doesn't have them, but the one we were in did.
Happy days then. Must
so
make
much
it
easier to get the little one in place.
Must make such a difference on that lift hill.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I bet it does.
They're not particularly high, but it's enough to stop you sliding about.
Yeah.
And to take that pressure off of having to tense up.
Anything you want to mention in particular about this ride? I've got to get out of the way.
Oh, yep. This one is one that you can bring very little children on. We've had mixed kind of information on that in the past, but Charlie has been on before he could walk.
Yeah.
It is the kind that you can just hold them. It's up to you really to decide, will they be happy with that little drop at the end? Little people see that as quite a big drop, so you just have to take it from their perspective and would they be happy. But other than that, I mean, Charlie loves it, he gets to see dinosaurs.
132 centimetres height limit.
Yes, but that is for without an adult.
Yeah. So with an adult, they could be, well, we took him on it when he was just over 1, didn't we? And he loved it.
The best advice for this, I'd say, is make sure they're walking and they've got proper shoes on.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it is a bit tricky to lift a child out of it. If they can at least stand up on the seat so that you can, you know, get them from the seat, that's a lot easier than trying to lift them as you try and step out as well. So the boat moves, if another boat comes behind you, it's going to knock you. You know, you're better making sure they're stable on their feet before you go with them.
Here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach there is of course the Wallish and Gromit Frillomatic ride, which is also suitable for little ones. There is a height restriction on this one again, isn't it, Becca? But I can't remember
90
it.
centimetres.
90 centimetres, whether they're accompanied or not, they have to be a minimum of 90 centimetres to get on this one.
Yeah, and that's probably because of the lap bar, because it does sit, you know, if you sat next to an adult, it can sit fairly high, so.
60 seconds to last off. No crackers from it. People come to the crackers. Hold on, folks. Hold on. It's my time for breakfast this morning, Gromit. Porridge today, then. Tuesday.
The Rugrats Lost River at Blackpool Pleasure Beach is a ride that we quite often cover on Pleasure Beach Experience, usually when it's Mike and other roller coaster enthusiasts getting absolutely soaked on it in the freezing cold conditions of opening weekend. But it is a good family fun water attraction here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, located inside the Nickelodeon land. I will clarify in a minute that it is definitely a metre tall to get on this one, but I'm pretty sure that's the height restriction. There is actually no restriction for the little ones if they're going on with a parent. However, if they're going on unaccompanied, it's 132 centimetres. That's the height restriction if they're going on without an adult. But if they're going on with you as a parent or an adult family member, let's say, then there's no restriction as long as they can walk unaided. Splash Bash is another ride that we mentioned earlier on in this video. So the minimum height restriction on this, even with an adult, is 95 centimetres. And Becca, what was it for unaccompanied? I can't remember.
5 centimetres. Oh no.
95, 120 unaccompanied. So it's 95 centimetres with an adult, 120 without. So the last ride we're going to talk about today is the Dora's World Voyage, which is a 120 centimetres height limit.
Yes.
So once again, Charlie's been able to do it, but it's 120 centimetres unaccompanied, isn't it? Unaccompanied. He was coming on it before he was 1 year old, so this is one that you can carry him onto, I believe.
There's a lot of babies that tend to come on this. It's quite calm, gentle. Usually it's a bit louder, there's no audio this time.
Yeah, I think it starts when we get around the corner in a minute.
Oh, fair enough.
So yeah, we'll turn the camera off. But yeah, Dora's World Voyage, 120 centimetres unaccompanied, but otherwise they can come on it accompanied, as long as, I don't even think they have to walk.
No.
We'll put a link to all the Nickland stuff in the comments and the description anyway. So we're coming to the end of our day here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. We've had to cut it a little bit short because the little man's got a bit of a dodgy tummy.
Yeah, he's asking to go home.
Yeah, so we're going to call it time there.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've done 90% of a Nickland guide and sort of a toddler ride guide. But is there anything else that we've forgotten? I'm just trying to think.
So there's two rides that Charlie usually loves to do, and that's the Gallopers by the big one.
Yeah.
And Eddie Stobart by the big one.
Yeah.
Now, one problem with those, they don't open till later on in the day. So we passed by them this morning.
Yeah, and we've not been back since, have we?
Yeah, but we come often enough that that's all right for us.
Yeah.
So.
One thing about the Gallopers, they have to be at least 2 years old.
Yeah.
And then there's a height restriction, is there? Or I can't remember.
No, there's a minimum height without an adult, but other than that, it was just 2 years old. Yeah.
So at least, like, Charlie's been going on it now, so he's been enjoying it. And then Eddie Stobart, I can't remember on the restriction on that one, but I don't think that's even been open at all today. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
No, the twice we've walked past it, it's not been open. But that is a good one. Depending on height, depends on where they've got to sit. So there's a little front cabin, an adult's never getting in there, and an upper bit where an adult can sit. But depending on the height of the child, depends on where they'd sit, top or bottom. Smaller kids will sit in the front.
Definitely.
They've got little steering wheels, so
keeps
them happy.
So, probably a pretty stupid question, seems as a video we've done, but would you recommend it as a nice family day out?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's definitely something for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the aeroplanes.
So Charlie's asking to go on the flying machines now, which I don't actually know if he's tall enough to go on it.
I believe he is.
Yeah. Well, if he wants to do it, we might have to have a think about it in a minute. But
we'll go and have a look. But other than that, he's telling us all sorts at the minute.
And you know what? I'm going to end the video there. So if there's any more information that we haven't added that you need to know or you'd be interested to know, please drop us a comment in the comment section below. Let us know, and if we do know, we will definitely give you the information for it. I'll also drop a link to Blackpool Pleasure Beach's height restrictions page on their website, and any other useful information I can find on the Blackpool Pleasure Beach website in regards to visiting Blackpool Pleasure Beach with a toddler. Many thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this different style Blackpool Pleasure Beach vlog from me, Becca and Charlie, and we'll see you in the next Pleasure Beach Experience video.